Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Friday again. And it's warm still. But I'm British, so I'm allowed to complain about it. But it is August. And I must admit, there's that little tinge in the air, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, that says, summer's coming to an end-ish. There's that little crispness in the air that autumn is somewhere around the corner. Not that I'm wishing it away, I am, because I don't like the heat. But autumn is my favourite time of the year, so I might just be wishing it away. I am on slightly different internet today, so things may be a little bit slower, hoping it all works. Not plugged right into the mains today, so fingers crossed. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Emily. New location. Yeah, it's upstairs in the bedroom today. It's peaceful. I was going to say there's no dogs, but he's followed me up here and he's asleep on the bed. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Susan. There's lots of you watching. There might be a little bit of a lag for me getting the comments in. Good morning, Lani. So yes, today. So subject today, I'm thinking the garden has struggled. I love our garden, but it has struggled this year because of the heat. We've lost quite a few plants because of the heat, because of the lack of water. But things now are all doing the whole seed head thing. It is that time of the year for starting to harvest the seeds. So I thought that's what we would talk about today. So that's the subject, seeds, working with seeds for magical purpose. I am collecting all of the seed heads, some of them more interesting than others. Poppy seed heads are one of my favourites. We've got some Love in the Mist seed heads out there. Rose hips, obviously, making their way as well. Lots and lots of seed head things coming into being. So how do you use them? Oh, hollyhocks. Lots of hollyhock seed heads that actually look like little purses. They're very sweet. Do you work with seeds in your magical purpose? Do you collect seeds from your garden? Do you forage seeds? How do you use them? What do you use them for? That is the subject for today. Hello from downstairs. Yeah, where's my tea? Good morning, Lucky Fairy Queen. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Christine. Yes, beautiful little Winnie. She will be here later. She's gone shopping with her mummy and daddy this morning. Bless her little cotton socks. Good morning, Kerry and Ebony. Cloudy Clonelly. Yes, it's grey out there today. Still stupidly warm though. Good morning, Moena. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Luna. Good morning, Emma. Loads of lovely people. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Sue from sunny Sunderland. Good morning, Nicola. Me too. Really struggling in my garden. Have so many seeds too. Have some outside ready to jar. Yeah, it's that time of the year, isn't it? Lani, I have Love in the Mist in my front and back garden. They're very pretty. Yes, they are one of my favourites, I think. Those and cornflowers. I think they're very, very pretty. Good morning, Tanith. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, tea lady.
Within 30 seconds of asking.
Tea appears. It's
How
like
cool
magic.
Is that?
It's like I heard you put the kettle on. Yeah, if you could tuck the dog in, thanks.
Yeah,
he's happy under the blanket on the bed. Good morning, Maria. Wow, lots of lovely people here early. Thank you. What have we got coming up? Now, we've got another Waffling Witches coming up. We'll sort out the date, hopefully today. Get a date sorted for you in the next couple of weeks. What else have we got? My brain's gone empty. I have a book launch in November. Actually, I've got one in October and one in November. Got a secret project I've been working on that's going to be launched on the 2nd of October. Then I have Prosperity Magic, which is coming out in November. There's a hoard for that. There will be a book launch and a talk. What else have we got? There's a autumn online ritual and workshop. There's a hoard for that as well. There's a winter online. workshop and talk. There will be a hoard for that as well. There are snake hoards on the shop, and there are more animals to come. There'll be a MoonCon in October. There are lots of online book launches for the Moonbooks authors. Have a look on the Moonbooks page. Stuff going on, as there always is. And our online retreat in February, which is very exciting. We've had lots of people booked up already. I think we might have to limit the numbers for that, but we'll see. So yeah, tons of stuff. Have a look at the websites. Good evening, Sephora. Just sprinkled lashings of flouncy pink poppy seeds about the coming spring will be pretty. Sephora being in New Zealand, actually seed magic works at both ends, doesn't it? Spring and autumn. Perfect. Good morning to the hand. Tina, never worked with seeds, would love to know how. Excellent. Just exciting. You've got so much to work with. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Sylvia. Everything's all shooting up the screen. Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Lots of links and stuff there. It's all whizzing up there. Debbie, used to save my borage seeds to sow, but the pigeons get to them first. We have a lot of pigeons in our garden. They sometimes leave me a few. Use them instead of the plant in spells and incense. Now, that is a very good way of using seeds, is to chuck them in your incense blends. It brings the magic into your incense. You could add them to spell pouches. You can add them to witches' bottles. You can dress candles with oil and roll them in seeds as well. The seeds bring the magic of the plant, but they also bring that new, fresh growth kind of energy with them as well. I think they've got a slightly different energy to the leaves or the flowers of the plant because they are the seed. They are the life and soul of that plant. They are the new plant. They have got that growth kind of energy to them. So I love working with them in magic. Good morning, David. All things from this world and the next fed, so now I can have my breakfast. You've deserved it, obviously. Let's get some of these up. Jane, how about wheat seeds ground up and magically turned into cake? Like you're thinking. Obviously, yes. Lots of foods grow from seeds, don't they? That's just how it happens. All foods, lots of foods. All of the grains, all of the fruits, vegetables, all kind of come from seeds originally, don't they? Yes, I like that idea, Jane. Turning into cake's always good with me. Hope you feel better soon, Emma. You're here. That's what counts. Lily, retreat. Yeah. We thought lots of people do retreats in fields, in church halls, in spiritual shops. Why don't we do an online retreat? And then everybody and anybody can come from anywhere and you can sit in the comfort of your own home. So it will run from 10 till 4 UK timings through Zoom. You can be on screen if you want to, or you can keep your screen black throughout. You can just talk if you want to, or you can type in the chat, or you can be fully present. It's entirely up to you. Myself, Ness and Heather will be with you all day. We've got lots of things lined up: spell working, crafting, meditation, magical chats, all sorts of things. And we'll sort of sit and share lunch together and that kind of thing as well. So a retreat, but online. That's February. Details are on the website. Jane, seeds are the little DNA bomb of the plant. They are, absolutely. The interesting thing I find with seeds, though, so we have had, I'm particularly thinking of a hollyhock. We bought a hybrid hollyhock and it was a beautiful colour. Planted it, it grew, did its thing, collected the seeds. The seeds don't come true to form. If it's a hybrid, the seeds will not come true to form, which I find quite interesting. They will revert back to the base. But the hollyhock has self-seeded in the garden and are what was originally a kind of peachy colour hollyhock is now pink because that's what the seeds revert to. It's clever stuff. Christine, we had our garden redone last year, but before we had lots of yellow poppies, but they disappeared with the changes, and I noticed the neighbour had one growing in their garden. Me a bit miffed. Now we've got yellow poppies back in the garden, growing in the way that she obviously threw them back in our garden. She doesn't know a good thing she did for me. We have that. We bought many years ago one orange poppy, and it grows everywhere. Self-seed. There'll always be one orange poppy somewhere in the garden, usually in a crack in the pavement or in the wall or somewhere very random. They self-seed, don't they? But I've tried sprinkling poppy seeds in the garden where I want them to grow, and they don't. It's just rude. Lee, completely forgot this year I have wildflower seed bombs to plant and poppy seeds I'd collected. They'll be all right. Seeds do keep, but they do grow less potent. You'll find less and less fertile as you go on, each year as you go on, but you can use them for magical purpose. Lucky Fairy Queen, have worked seed magic in a very limited capacity, so I'm excited for this chat. Excellent. Throw in your ideas, everyone. How do you work with seeds? Are there specific ones that you work with? Are there any particular seeds you'd like to know the magical properties of? And we'll have a look at those as well. Lucky Fairy Queen, one thing we do in my family is grow barley every October and see how it grows. If it grows well, the upcoming year will be great. If not, some challenges may come. That's all the seed magic I know. Wow, I've not heard that one before. That's quite interesting. David, seeds are great as they make great filling for pouches, as well as have a purer energy, or is saying innocent a better word? It's interesting, isn't it? I think it does. If I'm working with a plant, I connect with the spirit first, and then I work with the leaves, the stalks, the flowers. They've all got that same energy. The seeds do too, but they have something a little bit extra, I think. They have something special to them, the seeds, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. There is a bit of a difference. Sephora, anise and clove are an easy seed to start with. It's funny, isn't it? When I think about seeds, I often forget things like anise and clove because they are still seeds. But it's easy to forget, isn't it? And they are some of my favourites actually to eat, those flavours. Not eat, because you don't eat a star anise or a clove because that's nasty, but they're flavours. Good morning, Monique. Sylvia, I have not worked with seeds yet, but it makes so much sense to plant a suitable seed for manifestation of incense. Now that's an interesting way, and this happens quite a lot usually in spring magic. We plant seeds, we physically plant seeds and tie in our intent with them. And that is a really good way of working with them, is planting the seed to make the plant grow with your intent. And that works. But I do add them to all sorts of things, the actual seeds. Particularly, so yesterday I cleared out my herb and spice cupboard. I had so many in there that I forgot about stuff that was in there. So it's had a big clear out and a big reorganization. And there were a lot of things that were out of date. Some of them 2 or 3 years out of date. They got pushed to the back of the cupboard and I forgot about them. But those got moved to the magical cupboard. The dried herbs, the seeds, poppy seeds, I'm thinking of, sesame seeds, mustard seeds, they all got moved to the magical cupboard. Because although they're out of date for eating, they work really well for magic. And there were quite a few seeds in there, particularly poppy seeds, which I do use a lot. Poppy seeds are one of my go-to ingredients for prosperity. But I think seeds as a whole, I mean, each plant, each type of seed will have its own magical properties. But I think seeds as a whole group are good for fertility, prosperity, growth. Prosperity in particular, the tiny ones like poppy seeds and sesame seeds, there are so many of them in one seed head that it kind of lends itself, for me, to prosperity. So poppy seeds in particular, I do put in my prosperity magic. Sylvia, not worked with seeds yet, but it makes so much sense to plant it. Oh yeah, we've done. Sorry, that's me being silly. Yes, it's early. Jane, I've heard poppy seeds can stay viable for up to 80 years. That doesn't surprise me. They are quite resilient. if I weed and dig my front garden, fat chance I'll get a huge crop of borage and poppies next year. I think some seeds as well are they'll stay in the soil till the following year, and then they'll grow. But yes, I think some seeds in particular do last forever, or seem to anyway. Emma, I'd love to go to the retreat online. I'll get a reminder of the day close to the retreat date. I'll put it in my calendar and still forget. We'll remind you, Emma. So seeds. Actually, let's look at poppy, because poppy is one of my favourite ones to use in baking too. Lemon and poppy seed cake, very nice. Poppies. So it is an annual plant, poppy, obviously, and there are the wild type ones. There are probably the bright red ones that we are more familiar with from Wizard of Oz, for instance, and Remembrance Day. But there are the oriental poppies, which are much bigger. The thing is, the flowers only last a day. So if you are tight on space and everything has to earn its place, we've tried the oriental poppies for a few years, and we did have one this year that had 3 flowers on the plant, but each flower only lasted a day, and it's not an awful lot. It's got to earn its place. But if you've got a big garden, then brilliant, because they do bring fantastic colour. I'm not sure they particularly like air soil. Air soil is quite heavy clay, and poppies are they like to grow on scrubland and wasteland and much lighter, more well-draining soils. I think that's probably why the random small poppies that grow in our gravel and in our pavement, because they prefer the soil. But anyway, it does make me think of the Wizard of Oz, and there's a poppy field in the Wizard of Oz, if you are not familiar, and it makes them all go to sleep. So I think that brings sleep magic with it. So poppy seeds are really good to put in witch bottles or spell pouches to help you sleep. Also working well for insomnia, to help you get a restful night's sleep. It also represents forgetfulness. So I think as well, with the red poppy being remembrance, I think the poppy is very good for working with grief, to help you overcome grief. And because of the sheer amount of seeds in a poppy seed head, it is fertility and it is prosperity. They also are one of the things that work to confuse. That there's a lot of folk tales about sprinkling, whatever it might be, poppy seeds in this instance. Sprinkle the poppy seeds around your property and it will stop vampires from coming in. The theory being that the vampire is impelled to stop and count the poppy seeds, so it stops him from coming into your property. We all know vampires have to be invited in anyway, so that kind of throws that one out of the water. Just saying. I think red poppy is probably what you associate as well, the colour red with it. It is life, death and rebirth. The petals, the blood red of the petals, the fertility of the seeds, and the cycle that they grow in, I think is very much life, death and rebirth. You can add poppy petals or poppy seeds to your bath water. You can add seeds, petals to essential oil blends. You can add them to incense blends. They represent love, sleep, money, luck, fertility, rebirth, and grief. They are ruled by 3 different planets, which is quite interesting. The Moon, Mars, and Venus. So there's an interesting combination of planetary magic there. The sign is Capricorn. They are water element, and their energy is very feminine, very receptive. So very magical, but a kind of a gentle kind of magic, I think. But I think very, very useful. Let's go back to some of these. Zephora, is there a tie between magical properties and health properties? For example, pumpkin seeds expel worms, cloves chewed to numb the mouth. I didn't know pumpkin seeds expel worms. That's quite gross. Pumpkin seeds are another one that I associate with prosperity. Interesting, actually, thinking about it. Cloves are one of my go-to ingredients for anti-gossip. Cloves are excellent in anti-gossip spells. And yes, they are good for numbing when you have toothache, aren't they? And that's your mouth, which is where the gossip comes from. Interesting. Nothing that I've ever come across or noticed specifically, but you could be onto something there, Sephora. You could be onto something. Steve, when eating some fruits like apples and peaches, what could you use seeds for? Save them all. If you are eating an apple or a peach or a plum or a cherry, pears, whatever, oranges, lemons, they've all got seeds. Eat the fruit, save the seeds. Wash them, dry them, save them for magical purpose. They've all got magic, and they will all carry the energy that the fruit does. So apples very much linked to Avalon. Love for apples as well. Off the top of my head, because no, I don't need that one. I need that one. We're going with the food one. Because I have a very small brain and it doesn't hold on to information, let's have a look at apple. Apple. So apple is love, healing, clarity, knowledge, abundance, and spirit work. It has got that connection to Avalon, to the other world. It is ruled by Venus, water, and feminine. So it's a very, very goddess-related fruit. And the seeds will carry all of that magic with them. Peaches is one of those ones in the stories of the Garden of Eden. We are very, very used to it being an apple, but the historians reckon that it wouldn't actually have been an apple at all and was far more likely to have been something like a peach, which I find quite interesting, but I don't get out much, so peaches. Love, fertility, spirituality, wishes, and longevity. It's another Venus, water, feminine one. Quite a few of these are along those lines. And I think as well, something like peaches, cherries, they're very womb-like, and the seed is that center of that. So it does carry a very strong, I think, goddess energy. They all do, because it's kept that stone, that pit in the center of it, protected, like the womb does with a baby. So I think it's got that kind of energy with it. Cherry's another one that I save all of the stones from. Again, they're love. Bit of a theme going through here. Fertility, divination, cherry stones, Tinker Tailor Soldier, Sailor, and new beginnings. Another one that's Venus, water, feminine. There's a bit of a theme running through here. But yes, definitely save the seeds. They will carry the energy of the fruit. Hannah, I have a beech nut in my purse. No idea why I put it there. It just felt right. And I think that is magic. That to me is how magic should work. Do what you feel drawn to do. There are lots of lists. I'm looking up beech now. There are lots of lists in books, on the internet, but ultimately it is how you connect with it and how you feel, the magic that you feel from it and how you feel you should use it. So beech is wishes, creativity, spirituality, divination, luck, and success. So it's a very, very positive one. Ruled by Saturn, sign of Sagittarius. It's an air and earth element, which is a nice combination, and it's got a feminine receptive energy to it. It was meant to be that, Hannah. I love that type of magic. That is how I work. Angela, started using a thing called seed money, which is where you take some money that came to you in a special way. Maybe you're winning, maybe your very first payment for a job or service you've done, your first payment that came to you from your new business. Get the idea? Yep. And you put it away somewhere in an account in a special dedicated place or under the bed. Never spend it. Fabulous manifestation starter. Interesting. Yep. Nice. Very nice. Which actually reminds me of seed jars. A really good way of working with jar magic and seed magic to manifest, mostly along the prosperity, money, abundance type. Have a little jar, usually by your front door, somewhere that you will see regularly, walk past. Each time you go past, you have your empty jar, you have a jar of seeds, sesame seeds, fennel seeds, poppy seeds, one of the little tiny ones, cumin seeds. Empty jar, tub of seeds next to it. Each time you go past, take a pinch of the seeds, pop it into the empty jar. put your intent into it. Say a chant. Say, seeds of manifestation bring me prosperity, or something much more poetic than that. Put your intent into it. And then the next day when you go past it, do the same thing. And you're filling the jar up with seed magic. So you're filling it up with prosperity. You're filling it up with abundance, fertility, growth. And the actual physical action of taking the seeds and adding it to the jar, you are adding to that growth energy. When the jar's full, your spell will be done, and you can leave it there to percolate. And it should bring in prosperity and magic. You can also put seeds under your front doormat. You can do the same thing with a couple of shiny coins as well. But seeds work quite well under your front doormat. Put them there with the intent every time someone walks into your house, they bring positive, abundant, prosperous energy with them. It's about thinking about the energy that seeds bring and how you can work with it in a magic purpose. Like Hannah put the beech nut in her purse. You can do that with seeds as well, because they bring in that abundance. They make things grow. Jane. My dad used to do hobby magic with poppy seeds. He stuck them between the sleepers on his model railway to look like ballast. Oh, wow! All part of the magic. Who doesn't love a model railway? My great uncle had an entire room set up with model railway things. We were fascinated as kids, absolutely fascinated. I don't know whether he ever used poppy seeds. He may well have done. All very detailed, fun stuff. Nicola, which book? Okay, so these are my two well-thumbed books. I did write them, but I don't remember everything. So I have one is Magical Herbs and Plants. The other one is Foods. I give a bit of info at the front, and then there's kind of a, this is what the plant is, a bit about it, the magical properties, ruling planets, signs, elements, gender, that kind of thing. And I know gender is a bit of an outdated word, but it works for me for the magical energies, projective, receptive. David, apple seeds are great. You have wisdom, youth, and immortality if you go north. Nice. I think apples are one of the most magical fruits. They appear in so many cultures and so many folklores and so much history of magic. They are indeed very jolly magical. Maria, used to have an acorn in my pocket and petals in my purse. Acorns, seeds, are probably most representative of growth, prosperity. The oak tree, very, very magical. Acorns used to be a symbol of witchcraft as well. You will quite often find silver acorn pendants that are still used today, worn as a sign of witchcraft. Looking up oak now. Oak to me is strength. I think oak, again, is one of the most magical trees, historically one of the most magical trees, linked very much to Druidry. So oak is healing, health, protection, money, fertility, luck, strength, vitality, power. It is a fire and water, and it is a masculine projective kind of energy. So it brings that kind of strength, power, kind of energy with it. Love working with acorns. Very, very magical. David's mentioned acorns too. No, it's funny actually. We walked past, not too early, I don't think, because, seasons are doing strange things. We've got a big conker tree, buckeye tree, on the way to a little cafe that we walk past quite regularly. And we noticed yesterday that all of the green spiky covers for the conkers are all hanging on the trees, ready to ripen. So it won't be long. It won't be long. But I do think acorns are very magical. David, that does explain why some businesses have their first banknote framed. It's that thing, isn't it? Your first payment, your first money in from your new business or something. It's quite special, definitely. Jane. And this is Angela's idea of the seed money. Could put that money into purse, turn it over while looking at a crescent moon to double it. Try it next new moon. That's an old folklore too, isn't it? Usually with coins, you turn them over at the new moon to bring extra money in. Sephora, every mouse in the country would love seeds under the front doormat. Yes. I haven't had any issues so far, but yes, it could be a problem. Christine. Look what's by my side. Magical plants and herbs. Ooh. Thank you, Christine. Lani, just need to make sure the seeds are in a sealed container, otherwise they go everywhere in the bag, as I've found out in the past. Yes. Put them in a little baggie or a little organza pouch or something, because little seeds do go everywhere. Steve, what's the seed you most use and why? I think it probably is poppy seed, because I have a lot of them that I've collected from the garden. The seeds I do use, prosperity. The big poppy seed heads actually make really good spell containers. The really big oriental poppy seed heads, not quite that big, but you know what I mean. If you're very careful, you can slice a bit open and pop a very small petition in it. And that's quite a magical thing. I've done that where I've taken the poppy seed head, charged it with magic, put a little knife slit in it, pushed the little petition in, and then buried it in the garden and let it do its thing. So probably I would say poppy seeds. I do use sesame seeds quite a lot too. I use cumin seeds quite a lot in cooking because I like my chilies. My chili con carne always has cumin in it. But I probably would say poppy seeds are the kind of one that I do use the most. Jane, I use apple pips for spells involving caution. They either contain or help to make cyanide. That's a very interesting way of looking at it. Yes, that would work perfectly. Good morning, Cliff. I read that you can use conkers for runes, ascribing rune symbols onto each conker. What other magical properties do they have, being very seasonal around Samhain? All of the bigger ones, like conkers, buckeyes for those in America, not to be confused with edible chestnuts. This is the horse chestnut tree. Anything that's got that decent size, and I'm thinking peach stones and things like that as well. Peach stones not so easy to carve into. Conkers you can carve into the skin. Chestnuts you can carve into the skin. Actually, I use the outside of conkers, the green spiky bit. I actually dry those and use those in magical workings because I think they bring such a huge punch of protective energy. Not only is the skin really tough and leathery and protective, it's also got spikes on it. So the skin is brilliant to use in protection magic spells. But yes, you can scribe runes or sigils or symbols on them. But peach stones and large stones like that, and shells, nut shells, I do the same with. Particularly, I've done it with little pistachio shells. Nuts as well. Eat the nut, save the shell. The shell has got just as much magic as the nut, and you can't eat it, so you don't waste it if you keep it for magical purpose. Walnut shells make very good spell containers as well. You can put a little petition in there and stick them together with wax or just a plastic band. You can paint on nutshells. You can paint symbols and sigils. Same with the peach pits. Cherry stone's a little bit small, but peach and nectarine pits, you can paint or draw with a Sharpie. Runes, sigils, symbols, all work very well. Let's look at horse chestnut, which is the conker. Do kids play conkers anymore? It's probably health and safety. They're probably not allowed to, are they? We always used to play conkers as kids. Horse chestnut. I will find it's not in there under horse. Probably under chestnut. Chestnut, see? There you go. Yeah, horse chestnut. Okay, so they work for protection, but they also work for love as well, which is quite interesting. which kind of makes sense. The conker kind of looks like a heart, doesn't it? Don't you think? I'm just saying. For me, I think protection. It is the biggest thing for that. You are supposedly you can use conkers to place around your windowsills to stop spiders from coming in as well. So that brings protection as well. So I would have to say protection is the big one for me on those. I don't know. Does anybody else use them for anything else? Christine, I once got given an acorn from Wild Fox and I just put it into a pot with a tiny bit of soil. Didn't think that it would grow, but it's now 4 foot high. Lesson learned, always be careful where you put a seed. Yes, let's bear in mind that things like acorns grow into huge trees. So be mindful where you put them. Jane, love conkers. They look like fairy furniture. Can imagine them used as poofies in front of a fairy hearth. Love it. Love it. Good morning, Jackie from Vintage Witchcrafts. Acorns and conkers will be early, I reckon. Yes, I think you're right. I say that the horse chestnut tree around the corner from us they're all green and spiky and ready to go. Our apples are looking ripe already. Yeah, I think the seasons have gone a little bit mad. Nicola, have lots of jars of seeds, herbs and plants. I'm driving my husband mad. That's what happens when you live with a witch. Have a lot of evening primrose seeds. Beautiful plants. Beautiful, beautiful plants. Very otherworldly because they flower at night time. Generally yellow flowers. Opens in the evening. It's aligned with the moon and it has really, really strong feminine energy. So goddess plant, absolutely for me. The fairies love the flower as well. Traditionally, it was used in hunting rituals and to honour hunting deities, although as we don't often have a bow and arrow slung over our shoulders these days. I would perhaps use that to hunt down things. So I think evening primrose is very good for finding spells, seeking relationships, finding a new job, all of that kind of thing. So feminine energy, moon magic, fairies, and hunting. It is moon, water, feminine. So an absolute goddess plant for sure. Beautiful plant. Maria, planted 3 in a pot for magical purpose and all 3 grew for a while. I think it is things like acorns, any of the tree things really. Heather gave me an elder sapling and I put it in a pot. They only grow for so long in a pot and then they will outgrow it. So the elder mother is now in the garden and she's very happy. David, love fennel seeds. Me too. Has a happy big boy energy to it. Use it to give a positive boost to most things. Fennel, I think, is one of those things because it's got that scent, that clear your nasal scent, that it's really good for cleansing and releasing as well because it's got that fun, sort of pungent scent to it. Funnily enough, fennel is the page that the book happened to have fallen open on. There you go. And fenugreek. I must admit, I threw out a bag of fenugreek seeds yesterday. They had gone out of date. I do use them for curry sometimes, but they smell disgusting. So I don't work with fenugreek seeds because they're too smelly. Although they would work quite well in curses, maybe. They would work quite well in getting rid of negative energy, I would think, but they smell, so I don't use them. Fennel seeds, got distracted. Fennel seeds. You're talking to the dog outside? Yeah. Healing, purification, protection, courage, confidence, fertility, initiation. Ruled by Mercury, element of fire, and yeah, a very big boy energy. I like that term. I think fennel's beautiful, beautiful to work with. Add fennel seeds to incense to cleanse and purify. Add fennel seeds to your bath water to clear your mind and purify your body. Carry fennel with you for confidence and courage. This probably goes back to Roman soldiers who used to chew the seeds before battle. Fennel seeds are actually quite nice if you've got indigestion or if you've had a very garlicky curry or something. Chew on a few fennel seeds. Throw fennel seeds at hand fastings to ensure fertility for the happy couple. Fennel seeds, add to your floor wash to give your home a cleanse and purification and to add protection. When I add things to floor wash, I would add the herbal tea bag because it's just much easier to deal with. If you add a handful of fennel seeds to your floor wash, you'll end up with seeds all over the floor. I tend to work with herbal tea bags when I add things to floor wash. And I say floor wash, you can use the water, you can add a herbal tea bag to any of the water that you use to wash down your surfaces or anything to bring in cleansing, purification, protection. It was fennel, another ancient herb that was used to ward against witches. There are quite a number of herbs that were used against witches. It's also supposed to effectively work against snake venom, just in case. It's also a good seed to use for initiation rituals as it helps to release the old and see clearly the pathway before you, bringing with it courage and protection. So, Steve, I'm going to add fennel to my most used useful seeds as well as poppy. Fennel covers a lot of things. Definitely good. Jane, pistachio shells are great containers for offerings to the Fae. Indeed. I do not work with the Fae personally. I think it is a commitment. I think it's calling. I think it bears an awful lot of research before you go into it. But yes, that would work. They do, David. Fennel seeds do smell lovely. And yes, a great laxative. Let's bring the reality of it here. Just cleansing and purifying. Emma, love how you, the author, read your own books as if the information's all brand new. That's because my brain forgets it all, Emma. For some reason, it makes me happy to see it. We all forget things we've done, don't we? I do. I mean, these two date back to someone. See, this is my brain. 2014. That's a long time ago. I don't remember all this stuff. I think it also, particularly with things like herbs and magical ingredients, the ones that I work with a lot, I know the magical properties of because I work with them a lot. Some that I perhaps don't work so much with, I do forget. But it's also about different situations as well. When I put a spell together, when Heather and Ness are here and we make incense blends, and I say Heather and Ness are much better at making incense blends and oil blends than I am. So I just run around passing them the ingredients and they work the magic. But it's done purely on intuition. We don't look stuff up. Heather will sit there with we have a big orange bowl from Halloween, like one of the big trick-or-treat bowls. And she'll look through the herb cupboard. We have a kitchen witch herb cupboard. She'll go through the cupboard and pick out these things and just put them all in the bowl. And it works. And Ness does exactly the same with the oils as well. They'll go through them all and purely by intuition. And that, for me, is a much better way of working magic. But it's also very useful to have the references as well. But no, I don't remember them all because there's a lot of ingredients in there. And I have a brain like a sieve. Yes, David, definitely big boy energy, yes. Jane, tomato seeds last for ages. If you want to grow tomatoes, I just fill a pot of compost from one of the bins and water it. Most of what grows are guaranteed to be tomatoes. That's an interesting one as well. That's another one where eat the tomato, put it in your cheese and tomato sandwich or whatever you're going to do with it. Save some of the seeds, and the seeds can be used for magical working because tomato, everything, every plant, every ingredient, every food has magical energy. All of these things are in your kitchen. You don't have to spend loads of money buying expensive magical ingredients. You don't have to have a huge garden to save and collect all of these magical ingredients. Look in your kitchen cupboards, look in your fridge, look in your spice rack. Tomato seeds are one of those. Eat the tomatoes, save some of the seeds, wash them, sieve them, dry them, and you can use them in magical workings. It is the love tomato, the love apple. Tomato is the love apple. That's pretty much what it's all about. So the seeds work very well in love magic. Go and look it up. Also passion, bit of vavavoom, protection and creativity. It is ruled by, or is sacred to, Venus, Aphrodite, and Hera. So it is huge amounts of love and positive energy there. Feminine water Venus. It is total passion, love, energy to it. Lots of ums today. I'm very conscious of saying ums. Perhaps someone should count them for me. Keep a tomato on your windowsill to stop negative energy from entering your home. I don't think it would last very long on there before it went all squishy and yucky. So you could make a little witch bottle with tomato seeds in it, which would, be much better and less squishy and mouldy. Jane, fenugreek is grown as green manure, so it has properties of sacrifice and life-giving. Well, let's have a look at fenugreek. It is just very smelly. Not one of my favourites. I saw it a minute ago. Where's it gone? See, it's gone now. It has. It's gone. How bizarre. It was there. I saw it. Fenugreek. Nope, not going to get a fenugreek. It's gone. It's disappeared. Is it in that one? It's in that one. There you go. Fenugreek. Add to floor washes to bring in abundance. Yeah, as long as it doesn't smell. Add fenugreek seeds in incense blends to bring blessings to your home. Place fenugreek seeds under your pillow to stop nightmares. It would stop me from sleeping because of the smell. Use fenugreek to help in psychic protection and grounding and to help focus when you are journeying. Fenugreek is prosperity, blessings, money, anti-nightmares, psychic protection, meditation. It's ruled by Mercury, element of air, and it has a masculine protective energy. So very useful, very, very useful, and quite good in a curry. Jane, if you want to put messy things in floor wash, yes, just tie it in a bit of muslin. Make your own tea bag. You can buy empty tea bag things to make your own tea bags. You can use the little organza pouches. They work as well. Or yes, bit of muslin. Or in olden times, tie a hanky up with a piece of string. People don't have handkerchiefs anymore, do they? Nicola, the hot weather killed my only one sweet corn plant. Oh, I love sweet corn. You need 2 or more to grow. I have a one sweet corn which is dry and it hasn't let me get rid of it. Do you use sweet corn kernels? The dried ones, yes. Sweet corn's one of my favourite vegetables. So I do char grilled sweet corn. Absolutely delicious. So I tend to eat it. Do use the husks. So if you buy sweet corn cobs, not in plastic bags from the supermarket, they've all been stripped and cut up. But if you buy them from farmers markets and Air International Supermarket locally has them with the husks still on, you can dry the husks. Now the husks of sweet corn make really, really good items to work with for wrapping spells in. They are really, you could use them as pouches and all sorts of things for making corn dollies. Works very well as well with sweet corn. With the husks, I literally just take the husks off, lie them out to dry, and then store them and use them for all sorts of things. Get my alphabet right. H I coconut coffee. Get the corn. There we are. And of course, cornmeal works very well. Still corn, still sweet corn. Cornmeal works really well because you can use it for drawing sigils and circles and things on the ground or on flat surfaces. Corn and cornmeal, both very good as offerings. Particularly this coming up this time of the year, the first harvest, all that harvest, autumn type of energy. Apparently, the ancient Mayans, would use the blood of their enemies to fertilize their cornfields. The king would also donate drops of his own blood. You don't want to know from which body part. Really, you don't. But there's a big, strong fertility connection there. Ow! That's gotta hurt. But apparently that blood was then sprinkled amongst the young corn plants. Ew. The Aztecs would throw corn pollen into the air to bring rain. It's fertility. Corn was and still is often used in fertility rituals and spell work. The husks are made into corn dollies to bring about fertility for the coming year. It has got that big new energy, fresh growth, fertility to it. Abundance, luck, prosperity, very good for offerings and fertility. If you get the dried sweet corn kernels, the ones that you then make into popcorn, they're very good for spell work because obviously they don't go off and they're not squishy. They can be added to spell pouches, witch bottles, given as offerings, all that kind of thing. Ruled by the sun, it is a fire and earth plant and it is a feminine receptive energy. So yes, very, very useful in spells. Claire, sunflower seeds and sun magic. Now, sunflower is obviously solar powered, completely solar powered. I put the sunflower seeds in the homemade granola that I make. It's delicious. But sunflower, yes, definitely sun, definitely all types of solar magic, but it is useful for all sorts of things. So it's useful for wishes, for fertility, for truth spells, integrity, luck, protection, loyalty, and of course happiness, because it's a very, very happy, smiley yellow flower, ruled by the sun and Leo and fire and masculine. So it is solar energy the whole way, but incredibly useful sunflower seeds. It is what we got here. So the flower turns to face the sun. So very good for loyalty. Aztec priestesses would wear sunflowers and they would be placed in Aztec temples. If you need to know the truth about a situation, sleep with a sunflower under your bed. I would probably work with a little pouch of sunflower seeds rather than the actual sunflower. Bring sunflowers into your home to promote integrity. Growing sunflowers brings luck and protection. Eat the sunflower seeds for fertility. They also can be added to fertility workings. It is a happy, bouncy, sunshiny plant. So yeah, brilliant for any type of solar magic. Jane, your books are like magical journals that you share with everyone. We all have to refer to our book shadows now and again rather than try to remember anything. Thank you, Jane. I think witchcraft is meant for sharing. I have been on this path for well over 30 years now. There are things that I've learned. There are things that I've picked up. There are things that I used to work with that I don't anymore. There are ways of working that I have found successful, ways that have not worked. There are lessons that I have learned along the way. And I think sharing all of those, the good and the bad, the way that I work with things, will hopefully help someone else. And these type of chats where it is two-way, 47 way, whatever it is, we all learn from each other. And I think that's how witchcraft should be. Absolutely. David, nutmeg. Oh, nutmeg. Love the taste of nutmeg. Nutmeg cake. Oh, nutmeg in your coffee. Fabulous. Nutmeg, whole nutmeg, a luck charm. Luck and success charm. There, done, dusted. Just a nutmeg. Easy peasy. Nutmeg squeezy. Yes, definitely. Nutmeg, let's have a look. Carry the nutmeg with you for good luck and to attract money to you. A whole nutmeg makes an excellent good luck charm. See, told you. I wrote about it. Sprinkle nutmeg, powdered, not the whole ones, around your property to protect against negative energy. Keep a whole nutmeg under your bed to ensure that fidelity in your relationship stays solid. Do you know, with all these things that you're putting under your bed, you probably could be like the Princess and the Pea, wouldn't it? With all the things that you've got under your bed. Nutmeg is sometimes used in place of High John the Conqueror in spell work. So High John the Conqueror is a root, but it's not native to the UK. So I very rarely use it because it's quite expensive, because it has to be shipped from the other side of the world. And because if you've got something that you can use in place, then I do that. And nutmeg is quite a good substitute for it. So nutmeg, money, luck, fidelity, and protection. Ruled by Jupiter, it is fire and it is masculine. Good call, David. Good call. Sylvia, happy to hear that Ness and Heather do everything by intuition as I do the same. That pull is undeniable and so strong that I never fight it and just go with it. I think learning to trust your intuition is a skill. It is something that has to be learned. You do, over time, learn to trust it. But yes, Ness, Heather and myself, intuition is the first thing that we go for with any magical working. Definitely. Maria, pointless me growing tomatoes as I keep eating them every time they're picked. That's what they're there for, Maria. You can eat them. It's good. It's all good. David, a nutmeg isn't a nut regardless of the name. Yeah, it's one of those weird ones, isn't it? It's like peanuts that grow under the ground and cashew nuts that are a fruit. Yeah, there's some weird. And tomato, there's not a fruit. It's no, there's not a vegetable. It's a fruit. Yeah, that's it. Rhubarb, not a fruit. It's a vegetable. Yeah, sometimes the food world is quite confusing. It's always the first thing I put in my spirit tea, and now I'm forgetting why. No, I get that. I get that. It has got an otherworldly psychic ability connection to it. Yes, absolutely. Emma, you're lovely. You don't have to apologise for anything at all. I did know exactly what you meant. David, grow a massive pot of it only for it to catch blight and every tomato died. Yeah. And do you know, weather kind of plays a key to thing, isn't it? Our roses this year, because of the stupid weather, struggled quite a lot with mildew because the weather is just stupid. Yeah. Jane, I've got a hanky in every pocket. I've never been without hankies. I honour you. I think everyone should still have handkerchiefs. I think they're very good. Cliff, kind of related to the seed subject. We don't mind going off topic anyway, Cliff, you know that. Discovered a little seedling oak tree growing on my mum and dad's grave last year. Oh, nice. Only a couple of inches tall. Nice that it was growing there. Only a couple of inches tall. Have replanted it in a pot in our garden. Now 14 inches high. I'm wondering if I can bonsai it and have part of mum and dad with us at home. Interesting. That's a whole skill in its own, isn't it? Many, many, many years ago, when I worked for a glasshouse company, we used to go to Chelsea Flower Show, have a stall up there. And I bought a bonsai from one of the Chelsea Flower Show stalls. And the work that it took looking after it, needless to say, it did not last a particularly long a time because they do take a lot of looking after. But as far as I'm aware, you can bonsai most of the tree species. Be interesting. Let us know how you get on with that, Cliff. Maria, what's blight is kind of what it sounds like. I think David's answer there. It is fungus, isn't it? Yes, fungus spreads throughout the whole plant, rotting the fruit in days. Even if you separate the fruit from the plant, they can still rot from within. Yeah, you don't want to get blight. Not nice. Jane, happens if tomato plants, if they're too close together. It's the humid weather, isn't it? Yeah, that's what's happened with our roses, one of our roses this year. Christine, witchcraft sharing is giving people the seed to grow. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. Paul, what's the best nut for luck or prosperity? I would have to say nutmeg, even though it's not a nut really. But yes, nutmeg, very good. Just one nutmeg. Carry it with you as a lucky charm. Lucky charm prosperity. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what I've listed in here, because at the back of these books are intents, not tense, intent. Luck. So corn kernels, very good for luck. Nutmeg, olive pits, pear seeds, poppy seeds, star anise, all really, really good for luck. And then prosperity is apple seeds, almonds, very good for prosperity. Actually, I think most of the nuts, very good for prosperity. Dried beans as well, very good for prosperity. Think about Jack and his beans. Brazil nuts, cashew nuts, chestnuts, cloves, corn again, macadamia nuts, nutmeg, peanuts. Again, peanuts, keep the shells. Eat the peanuts, use the shells for magical workings. Pecan nuts. Most nuts, generally, very good for prosperity. Pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds. Nuts, seeds, generally very good for prosperity and luck. But if you want just one little talisman to carry with you, then I would say a nutmeg. Jane, been inspired to use mushrooms for my next bit of witchy homework because they look like little moons. Yeah, they do, don't they? Guess they correspond more with Earth, though, since they're part of the mycelic setup. Can't find them in any of my books or correspondences. Mushrooms. Okay. They are can be eaten to gain strength and courage. I think this stems from the belief that the mushroom is a vegetable substitute for flesh, given the texture. So you will find that in a lot of vegan and vegetarian recipes they use mushrooms because the mushroom has got quite a meaty texture. So for me, that kind of brings strength and courage with it. The fact that quite often mushrooms seem to appear magically overnight and that they appear frequently as fairy rings, I think entitles them to a bit of magic and mysticism. They bring feminine energies of the moon, but also the grounding energy of the earth. So although they're ruled by the moon, I think they have got that earth connection as well because they are grown very much in the soil. So they are ruled by the moon, but the element of earth, and they are of feminine energy. So mushrooms, strength, courage, magic, and balance. So there you go, but excellent to work with. Christine, bonsai it with trimming off the roots and trimming the tops to keep it pot bound and keep it trimmed. It's a lot of work, yeah. Tomato blight, not good. Cliff, careful not to spill cress seeds on your carpet and then spill water. You'll end up with a green carpet, you would. Lee, bought some ice cream. Oh, honey and pecan ice cream. Very magical. Yeah, definitely. Monique, keep the shells to use in the bottom of my small plant pots too. Nut shells. That's a brilliant idea, Monique. I hadn't thought about that. That's a very good idea. David, mushrooms are hardly touched on. That's a massive work in itself because there's such a huge group, isn't it? You have so many different species like plants and animals. Now I'm going to have a hunt round to see if there's any magic books on them. There's a little bit in that one. But yes, huge group, huge. Bit of useless information. We're good with that. The best tomatoes grow in sewage works because there's a lot of seeds go through us and grow again big and strong. Yeah, no, no thanks. Jane, mushrooms is in there. World of magical food. But there you go. So think about seeds and nuts when you're eating them and what magical properties they have. Think of which bits you can save from fruits and vegetables when you're eating them as well. Don't forget to save your nut shells. I think there's a blog post about the magic of nut shells on my blog somewhere. But there you go. Seeds. It's that time of the year, so keep an eye out and collect all of your seed heads because they've all got magic in them. And don't forget to trust your intuition. So there you go. Keep an eye on the website. David, can't throw that randomly in at the end. Fun fact about tomatoes, they eat insects. Okay. That's just bizarre. So keep an eye out on the websites for all that's coming up. Otherwise, hope you don't get too warm and melty. And I hope your tomatoes do not get blight. Thank you everyone for joining me, and I will see you all again next time. Take care, everyone.